If you're looking at robot lawn mowers right now, you've probably noticed there are a lot of options. It can be overwhelming. Now, today I'm going to give you some options that I found to be reliable, deliver a high quality cut, and perhaps more importantly, simple to set up and operate. But before I get into these mowers, I want to take just a minute to talk about a company, ECOVACS Robotics, because I think it matters where you're buying from. Now, ECOVACS has been around since 1998, and their reputation is in robotics is most notably with their D-Bot robot vacuums. So it isn't a company just jumping around in the lawnmowers. They've been developing navigation, mapping, and obstacle avoidance technology for years. And that's important because seeing these robotic mowers, it really is an extension of the same technology just applied outdoors. Traditionally, robot lawnmowers have relied on boundary wires, RTK GPS systems, like the ECOVACS 2500 I used on my tall fescue Bermuda grass yard last year. I had a few questions, and I can say your customer service was very responsive, and it was great the entire season. What ECOVACS has done with their growth lineup for 2026 is take a different approach. All their lawnmowers use LiDAR AI-based mapping to scan and understand your yard in real time. So instead of wires, you're getting a mower that can actually build a 3D map of your property and navigate it more intelligently. That's really where their experience in robotics shows up. This isn't a first generation technology. It's something that's been refined over years and now brought outdoors. And now they've built a full lineup, which is what we're going to look at today, from the O1000 LiDAR Pro up to the A2000 and A3000 LiDAR Pro models, each different of the lawn sizes and situations. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through these, show you how they work, and more importantly, help you figure out which one actually is right fit for your lawn. So now that you've got a better idea of ECOVACS Robotics and what they're doing in this space, let's talk about something that's really important and honestly where a lot of confusion comes in, and that is how similar these models actually are. Because when you look at the O1000, the A2000, and the A3000 LiDAR Pro models, it's easy to assume they're completely different machines, but in reality, they share some core technology and design philosophy. First of all three of these mowers are built around the same LiDAR-based navigation system, so none of these require boundary wires or rely on RTK or GPS. There's a second thing they all share is obstacle avoidance. All three of these models are designed to recognize and navigate around objects, whether it's trees, landscape beds, or even things left out in the lawn. So from a safety navigation standpoint, you're not giving up anything by going with one model over the other. Another thing I like here is all use the same app and mapping interface. So setup, zone creation, no-go areas, and all that is consistent across the entire lineup. Once when you learn one, you essentially know and be able to operate all of them. Cutting quality between all three of these models is pretty much the same. All of them cut between 1¼ inch up to 3¼ inch, which can accommodate any grass species. They can also be programmed to cut in different locations so you get that outstanding striping that everybody wants. And from a user experience standpoint, they all operate the same way. Automatic mowing schedules, returning to charge, and running where they left off. So there again, day-to-day experience of owning is very consistent no matter which model you choose. So when you step back and look at it, these aren't all three completely different mowers. They're really the same platform, just scale it and tune to different lawn sizes and situations. And that's really the key takeaway. You're not choosing between good, better, and best in terms of technology. You're choosing the right one for the size and capacity of your lawn.
The trimmer module is new for 2026, and here are some interesting features that you may not have realized. They're more than just a robot lawnmower. You can actually see through the robot's camera on the app and use it as a security guard. You can take photographs, also video, and on the A2000 and A3000, you can actually talk to someone through the mower through your cellular telephone. All you do is touch the call button on the app, and as you're approaching someone,
You are trespassing on private property. Please leave.
now let's talk briefly about what separates these mowers from one another. The O1000 Pro has a single cutting disc and can mow yards up to 1/4 acre. Both the A3000 and A2000 have dual cutting discs. Where they differ is battery capacity and charging time. The A3000 cuts up to 3/4 of an acre lawn, where the A2000 cuts into a half-acre lawn. Now let's go over what comes in the box. I'm going to show you how easy these are to set up to mow your lawn, answer some of the questions I typically get on these mowers, talk a little about the maintenance of these mowers, and maybe some unique features you did not even know. When you open the box, you'll see the quick reference guide. With the app and the guide, it makes setup very easy.
Include a full instruction manual along with warranty information. Comes with a 3-year manufacturer warranty, which is excellent coverage for a mower in this category. Next is a charging station. The charging station includes the base where the mower docks, the power adapter, and the bolts that allow you to secure the charging station to the ground so it stays firmly in place while the mower is docking and charging. Another component included is a trimmer module. When the blades are dull, I simply turn them over. That effectively doubles their life. Instead of 2 to 3 weeks, you often get a month to a month and a half out of a set of blades, depending on your mowing conditions. Now let's assemble the mower from the box. First, we'll want to put on the trimmer module onto the side of the mower. It is secured with 3 screws. One is already inside the module itself and 2 underneath the mower. This secures it into place. Then we'll attach the brushes. Now the charging station. Very simple. You take the charger module and just simply push it right onto the base. Secured. Now connect the power adapter to the charging station with the water resistant connector. Next, let's talk about place where to put the charging station. You want to choose a location in your yard that works best for you and is convenient for power. You do not need to worry about maintaining a clear signal to an RTK satellite antenna, which is required with many other robot lawn mowers. Because this mower has a dual LiDAR navigation system, the charging station can be placed almost anywhere in your yard without worrying about satellite visibility. Once you've chosen the location, you'll want to secure the charging station to the ground using the 6 bolts that are included in the package. This keeps the base from moving as a mower docks and undocks throughout the mowing cycle. It is also important to make sure there are no obstructions within a few feet of the charging station so the mower can easily locate and return to the dock when it needs to recharge. Finally, you'll want to place the station on level ground so the mower can smoothly navigate on and off the charging platform. A flat area helps ensure that reliable docking and charging every time. As soon as the mower is connected to power, it will automatically come to life and begin booting up. While the mower is booting up, it is a good time to download the ECOVACS app to your phone if you haven't already done so. The QR code for the app is located right on the Quick Start Guide, and scanning it will take you directly to the download page. Once the app is installed, you'll create an ECOVACS account, and the app will walk you through all the steps needed to connect the mower to your phone. During the setup process, you'll scan the QR code located on the left rear side of the mower. This allows the app to recognize and connect to your specific unit. At that point, you'll be asked to create a PIN code for the mower. This acts as your security code for the... One question I'm often asked is, what happens if someone tries to pick up your mower and carry it off? As a built-in theft alarm. If someone picks it up, the mower will detect it and trigger an alarm.
Belt suspended. Please put it back on the ground.
You can turn that feature off and on within the app. I typically turn it off temporarily when I'm servicing the mower. Maintenance on these units is very simple. About once a week, I usually spray off the mower with a hose. Do not use a power washer on this. A simple garden hose will spraying on the bottom where the rotary blades are is sufficient. Another security feature is setting up the location module. This uses a cellular network to have the GPS location show you where it is at all times. Another important thing to be aware of in setting it up is the mower needs to connect to a 2.4 gigahertz connection to your home Wi-Fi network. Most home routers broadcast 2 signals, a 5 gigahertz and a 2.4 gigahertz. The 5 gigahertz signal is faster, but the 2.4 gigahertz signal has a much longer range, which is why the robotic mowers use it. The longer the range allows a mower to stay connected to your home network while it is operating all across your lawn. Because of that connection, you can monitor the mower anytime from your phone, whether you're connected to Wi-Fi or cellular service. Mapping the lawn. The ECOVACS app actually provides a step-by-step guide that walks you through the mapping process. It is very straightforward to follow along as you set everything up. For this demonstration, the yard I'm mapping includes a small section surrounded by a sidewalk, the house, and the driveway. along with a main front yard that wraps around the house and another small section in the opposite side of the driveway. Because these areas are separated by the sidewalk, they are considered two distinct mowing zones. So I'll be connecting them using the path feature in the app. This allows a mower to safely travel between the mowing areas. During the mapping process, I'll be able to establish no-go zones. These are areas like landscape beds, decorative rocks, swing sets, and other obstacles where you don't want the mower to operate. The app does a very good job in explaining how to map the lawn, and in this tutorial, I'll be using the automatic mapping feature, which allows a mower to help generate the mowing area as it moves along the property. To start the mapping sequence, the mower will exit the docking station on its own. Once when it's completed this sequence, you will then need to steer the mower to the side of your yard. You can see there to the left how it is tracking. During mapping, if you need to erase, you simply pull the button backwards and back up the mower. This erases a section that you do not wish to map. When at the edge, you will hit start and you can see where the black line is now mapping the lawn. I am not steering the mower. It is doing this on its own using its sensors to detect the landscape bed, the driveway, and the sidewalk. You do this by pushing the automatic mapping button on the app. Sped this up for time constraints, but you can see the mower is completely autonomously mapping the entire area. I am not doing anything. When you are mapping, you need to stay within about 6 feet of the mower so the Bluetooth connection is maintained. Once when it gets to the end of where it started, it will automatically prompt the end of the map. Now I have mapped this area. It is now complete and stored in the mower robot. The only time you'll truly need to manually steer the mower is between two property lines where there is not a distinguished boundary, such as a home, driveway, or other obstacle. Here, I'm simply just taking it down the property line to the very end. As with the first area we created, once when the robot reaches the area where you initially press start to start the mapping of this area, it will immediately prompt you that it is completed. We now need to create an area between the first and second areas that were created. We do this by clicking the path feature on the app. This will give you a designated area that the mower will go from area 1 to area 2. This can be used if you have a fence or some other obstruction that you can simply open the gate of your fence and it will go through that area and you can mow. And it will take that designated path each time it uses it. In my case, I have an area up here where it can easily navigate over this curved area which has a bit of an edge to it. Now we need to create a no-go zone. You simply manually steer the mower over to the edge, in this case a landscape bed. Press start as you've done with the other mapping, and then it starts to identify the no-go zone. Steering it manually around this landscape bed or any other area you don't wish the mower to go. Once when it gets back to the original point, it will prompt you and let you know that the zone is complete and been programmed into the map.
Quick tip from mapping. Any area that you think you're going to be trimming, I would take over and manually steer it while you're mapping. Get that outside wheel just a bit off the lawn, right up against whatever you're going to trim. So that way you get that clean cut all the way down through there, and that trimmer module gets that entire area.
Now let's take a look at the app and the other features and functions of it. Auto mowing is auto mowing. It simply mows exactly where you want to, where it's pre-programmed. You can also do area mowing and simply just do the front yard or the backyard. There's also trim, where you can simply send the mower out to trim the perimeters or where you have set it in your yard. I've yet to set this up. However, I'll show you how to do that in a moment. There's also manual mowing, where if there's an area that you wish to mow, you can actually take the mower out and mow that specific area. Here's where we're going to set up the trimmer. First, you're going to designate the areas that are completely flat from the mowing area to the adjoining area. Now, if you have a large wall or something like that, this is preventing the mower, and I've never really had it go over that area, but if you did have a big wall or something, the mower does need to get very close to these areas in order to trim it correctly. So this is kind of a safety feature in case you had a very large drop off. You can make sure that doesn't happen. Now we've done that, I'm going to set my trimming areas. Now, you can do the whole yard, but what I like to do is I like to just keep it to the trimmable areas. One, it keeps the battery from running down. 2, it also saves a little bit with the spools. So I'm going to do around my walk. I'm also going to do a little bit around the driveway there a little bit. And in the adjoining area there, the spool automatically feeds, but if it ever gets stuck, in mine, I think in the manufacturing did, I just press that little button there and it pulls right out. You also have a rain sensor. Once when it senses rain, it will stop, and you can delay it anywhere from a half an hour clear up to 5 hours to 8 hours after it rains before it starts again. I usually keep mine at a half an hour. There's many ways to increase the sensitivity of the sensors running over objects. Here's the animal protection. You can also decrease the sensitivity of the sensors by the mowing height, and I'll get to that here in a moment. Here's how you set the mowing direction and height. You can actually do that for every area. You can see how the stripes are in different locations. You simply move the arrow to the left and to the right to set up the stripes that you want in that specific area. You can also set the mowing height in that area as well, and the speed of the mower. And the slower the speed, the better quality of cut. This is actually the first cut of the year on this lawn, and I am really taking a lot off, and it's doing a great job. Now, here's where you can adjust the sensitivity. Short grass environment is a high sensitivity of the sensors. Normal is usually where I keep it, but I often, in this situation, put it on a high grass environment. That is where the sensors are at their absolute minimum. If your grass is very tall and it's not on that high grass environment, it'll kick in the avoidance system. It'll actually miss a patch or two. Now, in regards to mowing height, you can mow anywhere from 1¼ inches clear up to 3½ inches for this mower.
The real decision here is choosing the model that fits best for your lawn. If you've got a smaller, more straightforward property, the A1000 Pro is going to get the job done. As you move into larger, more complex lawns, that's where the A2000 and A3000 Pro models start to make a little more sense, giving you more capacity and a little bit more flexibility to handle those larger lawns. And that's really how I would approach it. Don't overcomplicate it. Just match the mower to your lawn size, layout, and you're going to be in great shape. Now, if you're interested in any of these models, I'll have my links down below in the description, and I'll put a QR code right here on the screen, especially for those of you watching on television or a mobile device, so you can take a closer look at them. If you found this helpful, go ahead, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. I give real-world lawn care content from an agronomist and golf course superintendent with over 35 years of experience that actually helps you get results. I'm agronomist Greg Phillips. Hope this helps, and thanks for watching.